Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to Global Impromptu Speaking session number 226. Thank you so much for joining in today and becoming a regular member of Global Impromptu Speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, today our topics master is Toastmaster Pratyush Gupta. He is a very good speaker. Whenever I listen to him, his thoughts are very deep, and I love the way he brings the stories in. And today he has privilege to give you the topic, and you have privilege to receive topics from him. And let's see how thought-provoking topics he is going to share with us and offer us to speak and share our stories, our inspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, will not take much of time. Today, you are going to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. For the rest of the sessions, you are going to remain good human being, a better human being. The reason is you are going to listen to other people. Nowadays, listening to other people is a privilege for other person who is speaking, and you are listening to that person. Ladies and gentlemen, will not take much of your time. Let's put our hands together to welcome this young boy, Toastmaster Pratyush Gupta. Over to you.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Amjad. I will like to, before starting the session, I will like to say that whatever I have developed in impromptu speaking skills, I owe 90% of it to this very platform. And I am thankful for distinguished Toastmaster Amjad Ali, who has invented this very unique platform for speakers who want to work on their impromptu communications. And I always tell all my fellow Toastmasters also, if you have the time, please join this tabletop is impromptu platform so that you can develop the way I have developed from a very nominal level to a level where I can speak for at least the timing which is necessary in our table topics. And having said that, I will like to say that today we are celebrating Children's Day as it's 14 November, and the person who was the first Prime Minister of our country, India, he was a very keen child lover. And not going deep into that thing, I will like to start my table topic session. And as we all know that our first speaker is always Toastmaster Savita. So Toastmaster Savita, the topic for you.
First child. Yes, please.
Yes. So Toastmaster Savita, are you a child from your heart? Your topic is, are you a child from your heart, Toastmaster Savita?
Absolutely, everyone. My greetings to everyone present here. Yes, I think everyone is child in our heart, but in growing process, we forget that childish nature. We become so conscious of our surroundings. We become so conscious of everything. What will people say with that, sentence? What will he or she say if I behave like that? What will the other person say and they will laugh at me? We usually forget. And in that process, I think our parents, our elders are also to be blamed for that reason. Now you're 5 years, you should behave like that. Now you're 10 years, you should behave like that. Now you're 15 years, your behavior, your etiquette, should be like. I'm not saying etiquette should not be there, but we should not forget the child in us. The child in us, which gives us happiness. Let me share with you one example. We attended one program that was Magic of Gratitude. First day, the mentor there told us to take a pose of a cat, all of us, and then say meow, meow, meow. Out of 40 people, about 20 to 25, they did it immediately. Other 15 were just sitting and thinking, how can a mentor tell at this age to do like this? They were feeling so awkward to just pose like a cat and say meow. They felt they became so big that they cannot say take the posture of a cat and say meow. But the 25 one, they laughed and laughed and laughed for 2 minutes. That laughter, they forgot everything. And the stress level was absolutely zero at that level. Yes, being a child brings that zero stress level. So I think all of us should be a child at some phases of our life. And every day we should practice for a few minutes at least to be a child and enjoy this life. You don't know what tomorrow is going to be. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Pratyush.
Thank you, Toastmaster Savita. And I wish I was in that session so that also I can also say that meow. And our next speaker is our very own Toastmaster Sharman. Toastmaster Sharman. Toastmaster Sharman.
Yes, Mr. Pradeep.
Yes. Sir, your topic is the best way to convince a child according to you. The best way to convince a child according to you, Toastmaster Sharman.
Mr. Topic Master, Global Influence. I think I also agree for this actually because you have to listen to the child, whatever he needs, and then somehow not hurting his mind and give your message to him. Whatever the objectives we have in your child, you can slowly and steadily convince him or her. So for that, actually, I am not telling you better not to do harsh punishments. I heard recently in the newspaper, the parents have the child's birthday. One day before the birthday, the celebrations, the child has eaten the piece of cake, and father has taken his trouser belt and hammered, and child was died. No, I heard this yesterday. So when your parents also how the child's valuable children are future leaders, and still whatever you do, the parents you have to be an example. And also maybe child will, if you give a mathematics or something like hard things, they will not come into the they say hard and they can't do, and they go and play, and somehow you have to convince and your child, whatever you do today, you will use in future. And also you parents also can do something with the children's education or the homework, any other thing, or you can show the way to the child how you came up to this level, and try to convince slowly and steadily. Over to you, Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sharman. I really agree to what you have said. And our next speaker is Munish. Munish Gupta, Toastmaster Munish.
Yes, please.
Yes. So Toastmaster Munish, your topic is childhood friendships are friendships without self. Childhood friendships are friendships without self, Toastmaster Munish.
Good evening, everybody. Childhood friendship is without self-interest. I make many friends after my graduation, after my marriage. They are my business friends, but I do not have that belonging with them. I can figure out when I'm in trouble. I can see, I can feel that how they change the color, because it is just a business. That's not a friendship. But my friend, those who studied with me when I was a child, we used to study together. We used to sit on a same desk, same class. There are so many stories. They have belonging. When we need them, we can call them at any time. They show belonging. I remember once my son, because childhood friendship is childhood friendship, they don't bother, they are not self-interest, they are not selfish. My son was studying in a hostel, and there was a controversy that few boys caught drinking liquor. And my son, I knew that he doesn't drink because of our family. And he was also involved because he was sitting with them. And principal sacked all the boys. But there was one guy who went to the principal and he told boldly, sir, that boy brought the liquor from home. And he said he drank, other boy didn't drink. I was thinking at that time, I was worried when my school, I got the notice that my son can't study after 10th. And he saved my son. He told the true picture. But that thing in real life, if I think of my friend to whom I met, they will never say. They'll watch their own interest. Childhood friendship is childhood friendship because there is no self-interest in that. Over to the Toastmaster, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manish. Great example from your side. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Naina Shaju. Toastmaster Naina Shaju.
I think she has left.
Yes,
She has left.
She has left. Yes, she has left. So next speaker is Naitri. Toastmaster Naitri.
Yes.
So Toastmaster Naitri, why isn't the child within us alive? Why isn't the child within us alive, Toastmaster Naitri?
When was the last time you laughed out your heart without any expectations from the world? Toastmaster and ladies and gentlemen. Most of us would recall times in our childhood which we were actually happy in. No expectations, no restrictions. But when was the last time we actually laughed or felt happiness? In the past few years. When I was a child, I used to be happy for the simplest things in life. So my father was a really protective person back then. So he didn't even let us cross the railway track. So even if we went to the beach, he would park his car and show us, that's the beach, because he was that protective. He didn't want us to pass the railway track. He didn't want us to get next to the water. So even in those moments when we were just parking the car, that was happiness for me because I was with my family and I was happy. But now, the world's expectations and the competitive nature in this society has made us feel that happiness is not enough. When we get something, we run after the next thing. For example, few months back, I got into this competition. I thought I'll never get far into that. I got into the semi-final, and then I was like, yes, I should get into the finals. I didn't even take a second to appreciate or feel happy about it. I wanted the next thing. I think as adults and as society's competitiveness reaches to us, we always want more. We are never satisfied. But as children, we don't know there is something called more. We live in the moment. We feel that happiness at that moment. So I think part of the fault is in the society. But rather than that, I think as people, when we understand that society is like this, we have to change ourselves, change our mentality, and try to find the child within ourselves. And it is not too late, whether we are 20 or 30 or 50, we can still find the child within ourselves. So table topic master, are you ready to find the child in you? Over to you.
Yes, the solution said by you is perfect. And if I want to find my child within myself, I will have to work on that solution. Our next speaker is my favorite speaker, Toastmaster Farida. Toastmaster Farida. And your topic is childhood the only stage to learn anything? Is childhood the only stage to learn anything, Toastmaster Farida?
A very good evening to my global impromptu family members. The topic that has been given to me is childhood the only stage to learn anything? I totally disagree with this topic. I think learning is a process. Throughout our lives, as we move on from childhood to middle age, to adulthood, then to middle age, and then to being an old elderly person, I don't think that the process of learning should ever cease. I personally feel that the moment you stop learning or adapting to newer circumstances, when your learning stops, you stop adapting as well. When you stop adapting, you stop enjoying yourself. And definitely you will lose the child within yourself, for sure. My father was definitely one of the people who I'm truly, by heart, I admire the most, and I try to copy the most throughout the life. I try to follow his principles in life. And this was one of the things that I learned from him. He learned how to operate the computer after the age of 90. And he used to manage the accounts for 3 car washes and 1 flower shop from the computer, manage everything, write out the checks, all the employees. He used to do everything on the computer, emailing, accounts, management, everything, make spreadsheets. And this was well after the age of 90, well in towards late 90s as well, until he passed away. So from him, I derived great motivation that if Dad could do it, I can do anything. And with keeping that in mind, living in a city as Dubai, where life is definitely full of opportunities, there's loads of opportunities to learn new skills, to try out new things, to try out more fun adventures, especially with the fitness challenge going on, the expo going on, there's loads of things happening. There's no end to the learning. And I will tell you this, that this process of learning is not as grisly as one would imagine. In fact, it keeps you young, it keeps you on your toes, and it keeps you active. So this is my take for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed my speech. I love you all. A very good evening to everybody.
Thank you, Farida ma'am. I know that you like to disagree, and the topic was also in flow. So my next speaker is Unni Krishnan. Unni Krishnan, is he here?
Yes.
Unni Krishnan. Yes. Unni Krishnan. Sir, your topic is, can a child be your teacher? Can a child be your teacher? Toastmaster Unni Krishnan.
Good evening, my fellow impromptu family members and dear guests. As a child, yes, each can find teacher in every substances, because in each that is not a constraint of that age. Age is only a number. So wherever we find a small child also, we can, as far as I am concerned, I can adapt some good attitude from him. So it doesn't mean that a child or an adult or an old age person. So every person, there is a good attitude. So that attitude, we can adapt it, and we can strengthen or steadfast the lacking of that particular trait. Because it is child, because most of the time, I recalled one thing. I spoke to my elder son. His name is Shreyas Krishna. That time he was 2 days back. He was discussing, he was exploring about his career, because he's trying to find out his purpose of his life. So he listed out some 8 jobs. Then he's searching that these jobs are only because below he's looking for some salary, it's a high salary. Then I told him, so the initial stage, the starting, we have to take simple steps, and we are gaining knowledge. Then automatically everything will come to you, and suddenly you cannot take anything. So as you, as a child, in every situation, every person, and is he a professional person or he's an educated person, any person, we can find some good qualities from anyone, and we can adapt it, and whatever, and we can find good thing from each and every substance. So we can adapt it. And at this point, it's a great question, and I really enjoyed this thing. And thank you so much, and over to tabletop master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Krishnan, for your take. And our next speaker is Akib Javed. Toastmaster Akib,
Yes.
your
Yes,
topic
Pratyush.
is a silent child is a slow learner. A silent child is a slow learner, Toastmaster Akib.
A silent child is a slow learner. Again, it's a social stigma. I don't believe in it. When you go into villages and you find a very happy, talkative boy, people say that he's very naughty, he's going to be very bright. And at the same time, you have a child who is not speaking. People say that he is not that bright, he is not talkative. That means his brain is a little slow. I don't believe in it. Why? It may be something which is stopping him. It may be the language is not able to grasp. He is not able to express himself. And judging a boy, a child who has not even become adult, who has not even crossed 18 years, this is wrong. This social stigma should end. How can you judge someone who has just born, who is just trying to learn the language, who has just come on the earth? And it's okay. It's okay. We have a lot of people in our real life who has crossed 50 years of age and still have age stage fear. He might be speaking very fast when I was child, but does it make any sense? Does it make any sense? No, it doesn't. Why will it make sense? If I was a guy, if I in my childhood days didn't speak, it may be because of various reasons, because of the things which I went through. Some of the child, they go through lot of medication when they're child. Some of the student, some of the child might not be getting the exposure. Some of the students who are from very native, very village kind of background, they go to a city, and while they're child, they're not able to speak into that society. That doesn't make him less slow learner or having little brain. No, it doesn't make sense. So I would like to ask my audience, do you also feel if someone is silent is a slow learner? I had a teacher, and his son was not speaking for first 3 years, and he was frustrated as hell. He was saying, what to do? I've tried everything. I've taken him to doctor. He's not speaking. Does it make him slow learner? No. What he does is he put his son inside a box and locked it for 3 hours. After 4th hour, that fellow started crying inside. And they opened it. After that, he speaks well now. So this is what has happened. That doesn't make him a slow learner. So that's my take on the topic. Over to you, Pratyush.
Thank you, Akib. And a grisly example given by you, I would like to say. Our next speaker is Sujit. Sujit, is he? Yes, Sujit.
Yeah.
Yes, Sujit. So, sir, your topic is it easy or difficult to understand a child? Is it easy or difficult to understand a child?
Well, it's each child. It depends. There are few childs, as I've been hearing about child a lot, who responds, who doesn't, responds much but initially it's very difficult to understand in case they are not speaking or they are not reacting much in emotions. We never understand what the child is undergoing through because he is not speaking out. But but we can know from the gestures and like how he's responding, how is feeling. But as child grows up and starts speaking or converting into words, it's far more easy to understand what they want. And in case of a mother obviously without her words can understand what a child is undergoing. I can narrate few incidents like my nephew who kind of has initially was not talking much, and as I've seen with one of my colleague as well, when his child kind of uh, was not speaking much. So over the therapy, he started learning. So there are various incidents, and depending on the circumstances of the child, we have to respond. So it won't be a very straight jacket answer, as I understand. What do you think, table topic master?
Very well spoken, Toastmaster. I absolutely agree. Our next speaker is Giri Sonti. Giri Sonti. Giri Sonti, sir.
TM Giri, yes.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm here.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
one second. Hang on. Something wrong with my camera. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I'm sorry. 1 second. Hang on, sir. Something.
The camera was fine. We could see you.
You could see me?
Yes, we could see you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, this is fine.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So your topic is children are like buds in a garden and should be carefully and lovingly nurtured.
Can you repeat it, please?
Children are like buds in a garden and should be carefully and lovingly nurtured. So,
Good evening, everyone. You see, I'm bald. You see, I'm having the going the mush. I'm having all the fun in life. I'm always a child. I'm only 24 all the time. Anyone ask me, I'm only 24. Those are real flowers. That's the real background. I'm a kid playing all the time. That's what I realized when I was young. And since then on, I love children. Children around the planet are my children. I celebrate Children's Day in India a lot. I decided when I was learning and growing up in my career, I've seen all these people who are really, really experts getting horns on their heads. And I said, I'm going to share all my knowledge with the kids. I volunteer a lot. I teach kids in the community. I teach them free. I live in the US. I teach at least 50 kids every month. Children are like a flower, a delicate flower. You look at that, you don't put proper water, it'll wither and die. Children are the ones who are so innocent, their mind is so fresh. They don't care if you're white or black. I'm Punjabi, I'm a Gujarati, I'm this or that. They don't know anything. We are the ones who give all of that to them. They don't know anything. They are so innocent. Serving children for me is like serving the Almighty, whoever you call, whatever you call it. I know I have friends who have millions of dollars who donate wealth, but they come back to me and say, Giri, we are so jealous of you because I'm taking a lot of my time from my daily time to engage children and teach them without expecting anything. I have thousands of kids who come back when they grow up and say, Girish, you are really helpful. Inspiring a one kid is you are inspiring a generation ahead. Our population is growing so much. World is changing so much. Passing on, inspiring the next generation is the most beautiful thing I can contribute to the planet. That's what my wealth is. That's what my $100 million is, not even $1 million. That's what I take it like that. And I'm always considering myself, and that's what keeps me energetic and going on. That's what I do. Children are but we should all take responsibility to really nurture them and guide them and motivate them. I've seen so many parents have wealth. Oh, I bought all the toys for my son. The kid doesn't know what to play. What? They come back and ask me, sir, you tell me what to do. I urge all of you, Children's Day, we're all talking here about children's topic. Think about that in a deeper sense. I know we can all talk the topic today and move on, but I would say take it beyond today. And even if you can do small 1% of that, any kid, kids are all innocent. That's what I would do. That's what I am doing. That's what my life goal is. Thank you for giving me a chance to express myself.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. Excellent. And now our next speaker is our ever helpful distinguished Toastmaster, Jesse.
Yes, Babu Gupta. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am, your topic is, if all the children are like flowers, then why do we discriminate and pray for one type only? If all the children are like flower, then why do we discriminate and pray for one type only? DTM just.
Okay. I don't know whether what you said, pray.
Yes. Pray.
P-R-A-Y.
Pray.
Okay. Okay. Children are like flowers in the garden that God has made, and God has not distinguished black, white, or anything. When a garden is, when you see in a garden all types of flowers, you appreciate. So, but when you see the children, it's an evil thought to discriminate and distinguish the children based on the color. I have no idea why people, they are so innocent and so lovely to see. And they are, as in the previous said, they're the buds to be opened. You do not know how big the flower is going to be, how they are going to bloom. And in such a situation, we are monsters to discriminate them and put them in one box and make the child to be one type of the child. No, let the children, just the flowers bloom, different flowers, different fragrance, different, even to see the scenic beauty is different. Let all the children explore themselves. I think we need, it's not the children, we need a training to see them as they are, innocent, and allow them to bloom and motivate them and encourage them. I don't know why we discriminate and pray for one type. It may be it is teacher's job, whose the profession is a noble profession, to accept them and to teach them and guide them. I don't think even the teachers have to pray for one type or one type of teaching to suit. No, it is the teacher's job and the parents' job to direct them, seeing their natural what you call expertise or a passion to divert in such a situation. It's not children's job. Because they are dependent on the parents and the teachers, we should not take it for granted and do anything. Allow them to grow and explore. It's not the children's job. It is the job of the elders to see that they are blooming properly and not blame them for anything. Over to you, Babu Gupta.
Thank you, Digam Jesse. And I would like to say that we are two brothers, and I really feel that if I wish I had a sister. And now our next speaker is Toastmaster Deepa. Toastmaster Deepa Sampath. She here?
Yes, Toastmaster Pratyush.
Yes, yes. So this is a funny topic. Can the load of books imposed by today's educational system be compared to a child labor? Can the load of books imposed by today's educational system be compared to a child labor? Toastmaster Deepa Sampath.
Could you type it up? Compared to?
Compared to a child labor.
To child labor. Okay. So how many of you enjoyed reading, studying in school? Or how many of you enjoyed when they said, hey, school is shut off today, and the surprise holiday announced? How many of you were those people who were laughing, smiling at holidays? Raise of hands. So learning is so difficult. And I think the education system today has made it so difficult. It's so rigid. We're supposed to cram lessons. We're supposed to memorize things, even though they say we have to understand. At the end of the day, we have to memorize. We have the very load of the books that they carry or they have in their schools are so heavy. I think sometimes if you ask a child themselves, would you rather go work in a shop or would you rather sit at class? They might actually say, I would prefer going to a shop and working there. So I think we really have to change this outdated education system. I don't think this is a issue of only one country. Look at advanced countries like the United States. Even there, I've talked to a principal there and they say there's a lot to be done with the education curriculum, the way children are learning. I personally feel education must be made fun, play, like how we learn from games. Do we ever get tired of playing games? The way we learn it, it just seeps in so easily. If there were educators out there who planned these lessons in such a way that it's pleasurable, not so difficult, maybe slightly difficult, but not so difficult, then I would say it's not equivalent to child labor. Right now, it is child labor. The child goes to hell reading all the years. And sometimes they're so stressed out that it affects their lives as adults. They grow up to become stressed out. They're depressed in adult life because the way the brain works, if you are stressed in childhood, there's a certain number of chemicals that are released in the head, which starts to differ from the normal way it should behave. And it sets a pattern, and then you see a lot of illnesses that we would have otherwise prevented. So that's my take. Education curriculum definitely needs a revision. Toastmaster Pratyush.
Yes, ma'am, I agree. And I wish Jack has got this type of educational system and he will not become a dull boy. And now with this, I will like to call Usha Devi, Toastmaster Usha Devi.
Yes.
Yes. So, ma'am, your topic is today's child is a fast learner than yesterday's. Do you think today's child is a fast learner than yesterday's? Toastmaster Usha Devi.
Thank you, Pratyush, for the topic. Good evening to all global and Impromptu family members. Yes, definitely, 100% I agree with you. Today's child really a fast learner than yesterday. Because if you notice, our childhood days and now our children, when we compare, by age of 4 or 5, our time we not even know how to hold a pencil or a slate or whatever it is. But now, at the age of 2, children are playing with their tabs, their smartphones. They know how to open YouTube, how to put their cartoons themselves, and how to scroll it left, right if they don't like it. Literally, I'm saying that. I really wondered. And even they are trying to imitate in age of 2 itself. They are trying to imitate the cartoons, what they are watching. And some children, yes, they are using that into the real world when they play, when they, try to learn the things. They are really like, I mean, it depends on the parents how we are taking them into the right route when they are watching cartoons or with smartphone. But the learning from that is really going on the right direction, or it's really affecting them on the positive way, or they are literally watching, learning beyond their level, which means their small brain is very little bit, but they are focusing a lot. That is impacting literally on the other side, because I'm seeing many of the children who are coming for the therapies to the hospital, and into in the age of 2 and 3 itself, they are wearing spikes, glasses, all these. So one side, we are happy that they are really fast learners and they are doing miracles. The other end, really, it's sad thing. They are impacted with many negative things, and it's really horrible. It's really horrible. I mean, the word of the day, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but the fast learning is not that much good, what I feel. It's really impacting them a lot. Rather, their small brain to enjoy the life, to play, while playing, learning, and implementing that in their life while growing is really good thing. But the fast learning, since parents also nowadays, parents what they are doing, see, watch that child, watch this child, see, comparing of the children with the other children's, that is also pushing them to learn, more and more, and putting a lot of burden on the child's right. It's literally not okay. There is time given for certain things. A child should walk at the age of 9 slowly. Then they should start, speaking at the age of 1 year, when they are reaching to cross 1 year, and slowly expressing their thoughts or views at the age of. But now we are expecting them at the age of 7 months, 8 months itself. Oh, my child is not talking, my child is not walking, my child is not doing this, not doing that. Literally, it's not at all good. I really request all the parents, leave the child as it is, the way they grow. That's all. Don't push them to learn a lot, and don't compare them with anyone, and let them be like, as we discussed many times now, they are buds, they are flowers. They really blossom like anything if you leave them as it is, the way they are. Don't push them for the fast learn. Thank you, Prachus. That is what from my end.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and very reasonable examples given by you. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Arshad Nizam. Toastmaster Arshad, your topic is: a child must be taught how to think, not what to think. A child must be taught how to think, not what to think. Toastmaster Arshad.
As I speak today, I believe it is the Children's Day in India and in a few other places, but in Sri Lanka, the Children's Day is on the 1st of October. Now, being a part of the advertising arena, I work with a lot of children. I work with a lot of fussy eaters, kids who can't eat food. So I do commercials to feed children with butter, sauce, a lot of unwanted nutritions. And my mom always say, you will go to hell one day because you're just selling lies. And I completely agree. Now, in these commercials, parents, mothers, fathers, everyone are taught to think that you put one spoon of this brand, another spoon of the other brand, you are living a perfect life. So, being adults, we are manipulated. Now, I just came after a jog, and I used to believe that all these green teas and fat loss teas used to support. But that is when I understood that at every point, as adults, we are manipulated. And why should we do that for children? And children should be given their own freedom to do what they want. Because I believe that when a child is manipulated, uh, their way of thinking all goes to a box, and then they will not go out of it. And that is when they go through extreme pressure, and that affects their mental health. So according to UNICEF, the first 5 years of a child is very important for their self-development. I believe that my parents have done the best for me because I can take any decision at any time and stay on my own. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it is right. Because as parents, because I believe I'm talking to a few potential parents who are already parents or future parents, or some of us could be grandparents as well. That's a different story. But at every point, when a parent is putting effort to support a child in the first 5 years, as responsible people from the society, we just have to give them the chance to do that. Because when you start putting them in that pressurized environment, they tend to manipulate, and the kid is not given the chance to think and do, and they just become robotic, and their creativity goes completely down. Leave creativity aside, ethics, habits, attitude, everything isn't strong enough. The best examples are the examples that children commit suicide due to exam pressure. Children commit suicide due to games, online games, and the list goes on and on. And it's very common in Sri Lanka. It's very common because I do have my colleagues from Sri Lanka in this platform. They will agree. You get low marks in grade 5, the kid is hanging somewhere. That's very bad. It's because the parent has given that mental pressure. So it's important now, as adults, we are all manipulated to select the green tea to lose weight or the butter that gives you vitamin A. Dr. Farida will agree there is no vitamin A in butter, but we do that, right? We are manipulated and we are slaves of advertising. And I am also a part of it. That's a different story. But why do we have to put it on to our kids? Give them the freedom. I am not a parent, but when I become a parent, the kid has to be given extreme freedom to do what they want, and that is when they could do a better thing and they will see a different version of themselves. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amjad and Arshad, and I absolutely agree that if we are getting manipulated by any publicity, we should keep it to ourselves only. Now, the next speaker is Toastmaster Ajay. Sir, are you here?
Very much
yes.
here,
Yes, thank you, sir, for being here today. And so, sir, your topic is, there are no 7 wonders in eyes of a child. There are no 7 wonders in eyes of a child, Toastmaster Ajay.
Good evening, everyone. And I'm here after a very long time. No apologies because it was intentional. Anyway, this is the way children speak. They are upfront. They speak the truth. There's nothing hidden. They don't have any grisly intentions to cheat you, to thieve you. That is the beauty of a child. Everything for them is as beautiful as it is. If it is not beautiful, they would go up and say on your face, on the stage, oh, this is not good. This is so bad. This is ugly. You're you're not doing right. You're not doing, everything a child says comes straight from the heart. And that is the beauty of childhood. And that is the beauty of children around you. I always believed, I remember that beautiful song. I don't remember the group. I think it was Beach Boys, where it says the child is the father of a man. And that is how true is that. Because we learn so many things from our children. We don't realize, as Arshad just mentioned, we as adults are manipulated in this world with a lot of advertising and many other factors with people around us. It's not only advertising. There are people around us who manipulate us, be it relatives, be it friends, in any form. But children are not affected by that. And that is the beauty, because everything in their eyes is as it is, factual. And when I say that, that is when they appreciate things around them so beautifully, so wonderfully. In other words, what I want to say is there are no 7 wonders or 8 wonders or 10 wonders for children in this world. Everything around them is wonderful. They are a lot of energy. The energy within them is so, what do you say, it is not only attracts you, but it also spreads across to people. How many of you here, when you're sitting quietly or maybe not very interested, maybe a little bit out of mood, when you come down in an evening and you suddenly find some children come and play in that room, how many of you cheer up? How many of you get that smile on the face? A raise of hands. How many of you like maybe a child comes up and smiles and say maybe uncle or aunt or mom or dad, whatever it is. That is the beauty of the child, because the wonder in their eyes, the twinkle in their eyes brings a smile to us. I have learned over a period of time in my own experience that we are all still children inside. We are their children right now. Only thing is, when we grow up, the child becomes a backstage, a back burner, and what we do is we act. We act in public because we are aware too much about ourselves. We are trying to create an image and identity that this should be done, this should not be done. This is good, this is not bad. What will that fellow say? What will that person think of us? We forgot that the innate nature within us is of a child. Yes, we have to keep that alive. And once you keep that alive, trust me, everything around you is wonderful. Everything around you is a wonder of the world. No doubt, children are blessed. And as they say, children in any family bring joy and happiness. And on this day, Children's Day, which is celebrated in India today, is the message is very clear that if you want to live long and if you want to live right, keep that child in you always alive. Over to you, Toastmaster Pratyush.
Thank you, sir. That was the spirit of the topic and the spirit of Toastmaster Ajay. And with this, I will like to call Toastmaster Jaya. Toastmaster Jaya. Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, your topic is, it is easier to make a strong child than to repair a broken man. It is easier to make a strong child than to repair a broken man. Toastmaster Jaya.
A very good evening to all the impromptu members and their guests. I would say, as a child, we mold our children. We teach them how to behave, how to face the world, how to speak to people. And if anything happens to them, we teach them how to be strong, how to take away negativity and forgive people, right? So it becomes, and there are parents who are very tough with these kids because they want the children to grow big, to be tough and face the life. And vice versa, yes, it can be difficult mending a person who has, who is broken from inside, because these people can be stubborn. They can be stubborn or, refuse to accept. Even if we tell them you need, for example, if we tell them you need to go out, it's not good to sit at home because it's harmful for them. They might lead to depression. So it's very, it's very tough for psychologists or any member of the family to coax them and convince them, because older people, as we grow in age, we become stubborn. We don't want any change. While as a child, they are like sponge. They can absorb anything. Hence, it's very easier to mold them and make them strong in life. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jaya. Really, thank you. And now, our host, that is the king of the evening, DTM Amjad sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, sir, the final topic of the evening has arrived. And your topic is, sir, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. We because we grow old, we stop playing. DTM Amjad.
Sorry, are you sharing the chat? I'm sorry, I was just waiting.
Yes, sir.
It's okay, you can reiterate if you don't mind. I didn't pay attention, I was waiting. If you're going to share in the chat. Thank you so much, Mr. Topics Master. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. I don't think this statement is relevant. The reason is it has nothing, it's just a statement actually. We can quote, we can write anything comes into our mind, or we feel like, okay, it applies in our life. But it's just a statement. People out there are people, it doesn't apply everywhere. There are people who are very jolly, even in their senior age. I would like to mention a name, Dr. Ajay. He seems when he speaks as jolly, he speaks younger than me. And that makes sense. And we cannot say he's growing old. It's all about your heart. It's all about the way you have passed your life, the way you have lived your life, the way you deal with people, the way you carry your relationships with your friends, with your family members, with your mates, workmates, or schoolmates. And for me, it's just a statement actually. Even I can write such statements, but that doesn't mean that's the reality. There are people who are very jolly, who are very lively, even they are struggling in their lives. And there are people who have earned something in their life. They are rich kind of in terms of their education as our money, but they are very dull. They don't carry their personality. They are kind of streamlined their life. And it actually applies person to person. It varies. So for me, it's just a statement. It has nothing to do with like when we grow old, we don't play, or we stop playing when we're growing old. Age is just a number. It's all about your heart. If you want to live happy, you will live happy. You will find million reasons to keep yourself happy. If you don't want to keep yourself happy, you will find million reasons to keep yourself dull or behind the stage, or not coming in front of the screen, or not playing, or keeping yourself happy. It's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's totally up to you how you want to live your life, how you want to leave the legacy. It's all about legacy. If you want yourself to be remembered, you want to leave yourself as a remembering person, a person who is going to be remembered. It's up to you. If you feel like, okay, I just want to keep myself very dull, very quiet, it's up to you. Back to you.
Thank you, DTM Amjad Ali, for your take on this topic. And I absolutely agree, whether we play in our heart or we should keep playing positively to keep up. And with this, I conclude this session and thank all the participants for accepting me as the host of the evening. And I will like to hand it back to who is the inventor of this wonderful and unique platform, distinguished Toastmaster Amjad Ali. Thank you. Back to you, sir.
Who is going to give topic to Toastmaster Pratyush? Toastmaster Ajay, please go ahead.
Whenever I join, I have to give a topic. I don't know. I joined a little late, so I'm not sure whether this subject was taken up. The topic for you, Toastmaster Pratyush, is children are great imitators. Children are great imitators. So learn to behave yourself. Children are great imitators. So learn to behave yourself. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ajay, for this topic. I would like to say that everyone is a child in a certain platform. For example, when I was a child in this very platform, I had tried to imitate even you, Toastmaster Ajay. So when we grow and when we get this tag of ACNIOR, being senior, then the responsibility comes on our shoulders. Because we know that the persons who are new in this world or even in the organization where we are working, they are going to imitate us. And if we do anything wrong, they will do the same thing. I will like to give the example of my workshop, where there are around 15 workers and 12 of them are very old, and they are someone whom I trust upon. While working, they have a bad habit of playing on their cell phones. But since they are trained, they can do it without any difficulties. But just 2 months back, 2 new have joined my organization and they started imitating them. That is, working and playing on their cell phone simultaneously. They were unable to produce the output that they were producing. And then, instead of scolding those new boys, I told them that, look, since you play while you are working, that habit has been inculcated by the newer ones in the organization. If I tell them anything, they say, the seniors are also doing the same. Why are you only saying us? Just because we are unable to give the output. So seniors must behave in a way that the juniors can learn from them. Otherwise, the whole family will be disturbed. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Very well taken, Pratyush. And I agree that we set examples for people around us. So it's not only children, but children catch it very fast because they are like the clean blackboard. You know, there's a white screen. So anything you put on it, it will register. So you have to be very careful what you do in front of children or say in front of children. because they catch it like this. They absorb it like, as Jazz said, like a sponge. So it goes in and then it remains for a long time. It makes their fundamentals different when they grow up in life. Okay, I'm done. Over to the big boss. Sarji, big boss, DTM Amjad.
Thank you so much, ladies and
What do you
gentlemen, and thank you so much, Toastmaster Pratyush, for managing this session 226 session with that power vested in me as a host of this very meeting. I adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Bye-bye.